And hello and good morning. I'm David Bowles, and this is Bowles.tv, BOLES.television, coming to you live and in person most days, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And as you can tell, I'm having a very, very strange hair day today. It was very severe looking. I mussed it up so it looks maybe a little more casual, but it's still misbehaving. It's Friday, what can you say? If this were Monday, hair would be in trouble, but tomorrow's Saturday, so the hair's going on vacation. A little bit early. So, a lot to talk about today, and you can see I'm wearing my Nebraska jersey, which I'm going to get to in a minute. But first, have you heard the news about the Big Ten Network? Made a $7 billion deal for the Big Ten to be on, I guess, Fox and CBS and Peacock Network. $1 billion a year for 7 years. Equally divided among all the schools, which is like $100 million per year, per school. Into all of infinity, I guess. And I guess Notre Dame is going to be joining the Big Ten is the big rumor, and then if that happens, oh boy, look out. Forget the SEC, the Big Ten's going to be it. Now, Nebraska used to be a powerhouse. It's not anymore. I accept that as a graduate of the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, as well as Columbia University in the city of New York. So I come from the Ivy League, but I was born into football school. Football land. And that's the first thing when you're in New York. Where'd you come from? Oh, Nebraska. Oh, where'd you go to school? Oh, UNL. Oh, that's a football school. Yeah, it is. Ohio State, Michigan, Penn State. Football school. East Coast snobbery, but it's true. So the red-white game is supposed to be tomorrow on the Big Ten Network, but they played the red-white game in April, so I have a feeling it's a repeat and a rerun. Next week is the opening of the Nebraska team. And they're playing Northwestern in Ireland, believe it or not. Now, why Ireland? We don't know. But that's where they're playing, and they were supposed to play last year, but they couldn't go because of COVID. Hey, it's Gordon. I blame the football jersey, rough quarter. It was a little bit of a task getting the jersey over my head because this is a little bit tight, but it's not bad. I blame this pain in my eyebrow. You would be surprised how many times you just happen to go there during the day, and maybe I'm going there during the day because it's itching, because it's healing. So now we're going to have just a brief, universal conversation about the quality of things that decline the longer you're alive. And as an example of this, we're going to talk about the University of Nebraska-Lincoln and the football jerseys that they sell. Now, if you're from Nebraska, you do not like Adidas. And it's not even pronounced Adidas. Actually, the correct pronunciation is a German company. It is Adidas. Now, if you want to make a bet with somebody and win $100 on a bar bet, just say, how do you pronounce this? And you bet them that it's Adidas, and they won't believe you because everybody calls it Adidas. Just like Nike, right? How many people call Nike? Well, Nike has really great stuff. Great designs, interesting. Adidas does not. But Adidas pays the University of Nebraska-Lincoln a lot of money. So, we, the fans, are stuck with Adidas and not Nike. Now, if you are a big fan, which I may or may not be, the real true fan likes to have some kind of jersey. Not because you're trying to be, you just want to blend with your guy on the team. And there used to be a time where you could pick your number. So if your favorite player, and these are young high school kids that are playing college football, you like number 88, you could go online and buy jersey number 88 and even put the player's name on the back. And then 2 or 3 years ago, the NCAA stopped that and said, well, Adidas and the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, in this case, they're profiting off the talents of the young player. So that's not fair that the popular players have their numbers purchased by people at home and they're not getting paid for it. So we can't do that anymore because these are student athletes, they're not professional players. Wink, wink, right? So then they changed it to, 5 years ago, only the year that you're playing. So any jersey that you wanted to buy in support of your team, wherever it might be, had to have the number of the year. 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, you know what I mean, right? You can't get 88 if you wanted it. And now we have name, image, and likeness where players are getting paid $1 million a year. And I think that they are now allowed, if they want to sell their jersey number, but it's still very sticky. So right now, you can only get either a 22 jersey, or what they've been using is just the number 1. What's a 1? I mean, if you're going to have a jersey on, you want to fill your whole chest and your back with the number. So the Jana Marie and I, who was originally born in Council Bluffs, Iowa, we apologize for that. An Iowa fan, Iowa, Hawkeye, Nebraska, doesn't really go. But over the 34 years of marriage, she has been, I don't want to say brainwashed, she has been gently convinced that the better team, even though it loses every year to Iowa, is actually the University of Nebraska-Lincoln Cornhuskers. So she is on the team, and we wear, on game days, twin football jerseys. And as one of the managers in our building said, who is a very romantic type, Samantha, but they call her Sam, when she sees us walking around on football Saturdays as twins, she looks at us, and she is no longer married, but she's young and a wonderful person. She looked at us and started smiling and crying and said, "Relationship goals." And I said, what do you mean by relationship goals? And she said, "What you two are doing where you're dressing like twins, I want that too." It's Mr. Gordon, checking in from Florida. EAP88 is the worst number nowadays. Well, it is, but, my cell phone number also ends in 8888. So it's not Heil Hitler, it's 8888 as in Chinese numerology, where 8 is the luckiest, best number ever, because it is the number of infinity. Gordon also says, "I hope Sam can make her nose go left and right like Samantha in Bewitched." It's interesting. Somebody said that, they love girls with boy names, which is, I think, a very strange thing to say. And you can also tell many times, which is not with Sam Samantha, but with others, like Joseph Lena or Dana, that there are parents, fathers, who thought that they were having a son, they had a daughter, they had the name picked out, so they add an A, they make it feminine, so the daughter gets the boy name. I don't know if that's true or not, but I was reminded of it by what Gordon said. So, because of this stream and because of Twitch and Facebook, I have some people who have Nebraska stuff that is either old or they don't want it anymore. So I was very lucky that I have 2 jerseys that have sent to me, which I'll show you in a moment, what I'm wearing. And they are of the old school type. These are not official jerseys. Those are very hard to get. But they're close enough. But what's interesting about these jerseys is the official jersey that you can buy from Adidas.com is about $120. Now it's gone up to $130, I believe. And the quality of that jersey that they want you to buy is not terrific. I'm going to show that to you in a moment, but this is what they're selling right now. They just updated the website, Adidas. This is the new throwback jersey that goes back to the 1984s, which is sort of what I'm wearing But what's interesting about this is not this. This is, as you can see, this is jersey material. It has holes in it, right? Like a football shirt. This is solid, and the screen printed number 1 on there makes it look like it's this mesh, but it's not. So here you get the official shoe for $200. Black shirts jersey, this is what I was telling you about. 130, the number 1, right? I guess they're not doing the year anymore. They're just going with 1, which is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Here's a number 1, and then these are the clothes that you can wear. Here's the throwback jersey, which I do like. I just wish it wasn't fake. With this making pretend that it's this, with the holes in it, right? It's screen printed, but it's old. And you can tell it's old because when this was sent to me yesterday, it smells of mothballs and it's all faded. I didn't know if I should wash it or not, but I thought, why wouldn't I wash it? And this is also screen printed on it. So this is not really an official jersey. But considered to what's being sold now, this is more authentic than that. This is the green shirt that they're wearing in Ireland. Yes, okay. So this is official wear. These are not official jerseys. But you used to be able to get an official jersey. So it's cute stuff. Hey, speaking of cute stuff, here's the Big Ten website. The Nebraska Cornhuskers. This is their whole big page. This is where I learned about the red-white game, I guess, that they're replaying tomorrow. And the Twitter. And it's big money. What's on TV? Hey, what's on TV? Today, school. Select a school. How about the University of Nebraska-Lincoln? Close. Ha, nothing today. What's going on tomorrow? Oh my goodness, nothing tomorrow. I know there's something on there, but I guess I didn't find it. So this jersey, I would say, is supposed to be celebrating Mike Rozier, who played, he was number 30. The quality of this is pretty nice. It's soft. It's screen printed on there. Not sewn. Okay, we're going to get to sewn in a minute. Screen printed, right? A nice jersey. Now, this is from, what year do you think? This is from 5 years ago, right? 2017. This is when they were doing the years. Now, this is a very, very nice, shocking Adidas jersey. Okay, and here's why. The numbers on the shoulder are sewn. So they're sewn onto the actual jersey, right? Okay, that's big. This is embroidered. Okay, shiny embroidered. This, the numbers on the front. It's sewn on, different material. It's not screen printed. This is the Nebraska patch that is sewn on. And you can tell it's sewn on by looking inside. This is a very high quality, shockingly delightful Nebraska jersey. Okay, and you have the vents on the side. Classic, right? 10 out of 10. Then, fast forward a couple of years. What year would this be? Hey, it's 2019. And we saw this on the Adidas site, right? This again, look. High quality. Nice material, sewn in there, right? Nice, okay? The Adidas logo right here, right? Again, quality, thread, sewn on, nice, yeah? Now here we start to see the decline of the Nebraska football jersey from the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. This, the one we just showed you, had the numbers sewn on there. This is not sewn on. This is plastic. This is screen printed on there. Super disappointing. Now they're a member of the Big Ten, right? Big Ten, same thing. Not sewn on there, just glued on there. Now this is where it really gets disappointing and where I started realizing there's something wrong going on here. Now look at this this is the Black Shirt Defense shirt, right? Hey, look, it's sewn on. No, it's not. It looks like it's sewn on, but it's just a rubber iron. The whole thing. See, there's no scratchiness, no threads. So this is 2019, and we're starting to go downhill. Fast forward to the year 20. Red, yes, okay. 20. Yes, okay, sewn on. High quality, smaller number. Okay, but again, numbers on the sleeve. Heat transferred on. Heat transferred on, not sewn on. The Adidas embroidered. Come on now. That's the whole thing. The University of Nebraska-Lincoln. It's an iron-on patch. None of these on the real jerseys are ironed on. They're a big patch, like I showed you, that is sewn on from the inside. And here it is. There's nothing sewn on there. It's an iron-on. So you're starting to get a little bit more disappointed in what's going on. This also is the year 20. Okay. Ironed on. Not ironed on. This is sewn on. Good quality still there. Same thing though, different color, different year, but you're still ironing on. Ironing on. Fake, right? This is the fake. But if you want to be a fan, you want a jersey, you don't have any choice. They don't offer you the high quality anymore. You're stuck with this, and you're paying $120. Now $130. Same thing with the Big Ten, just on it. And the Nebraska logo, the Nebraska patch that we saw before that was sewn on and then ironed on, not even there. There's the Big Ten on there. Right here, Big Ten. It'd be a ripoff. Now, this is where everything kind of slows down. Hey, it's Jenna Marie. Oh my gosh, look at all these people talking and I'm going on. Oh. Gordon says, what did David Bells do when he got a new shipment of Vita Ramen? Vegan white miso, he's 88. I'm not sure I understand that joke, Gordon. You can explain it to me. And if it's a dad joke, I'm all for it. Jana Marie says, I love those Nebraska clothes. Oh, I'm so glad Jana Marie's here because we might be talking about her in a moment, or we might not be talking about her in a moment. I guess she's going to have to figure out when she gets here. You cannot see or hear part of this. What? It was meant to be 8888. Ad break. Gordon, you're losing me. You can't hear me or you can't see me. I don't get it. As far as I know, I'm on. I have sound. I have closed captions. I don't know what's going on. So, let me just check the sound because no one's saying anything to me. So, just check the sound because no one's saying anything. All right, someone's messing around with my exclamation point commands. As far as I know. Now, this is where it starts to really get dismaying. Because you try to be a good fan, you try to support the team, do the right thing, play all the right roles. Gordon said there should be a read the comment stream command. Read the comment stream. I will do with that, Gordon. This is from what year? We don't know because it's not putting the year on it anymore. But I would say this is 21. Yeah, last year. Okay, ready? This is the number one, right? Okay. Now this is the alternate jersey. So all these teams have their regulars. So for Nebraska, they have their red away color and they have the white home color. And then they do the special ones, like the black ones for the black shirts, right? Alternate. Then they had this one, which was the camo one, which is to play, I guess, some kind of support for the military, which I don't understand why we do military things on football days. I've never understood it. But this is the number one, and now we have in total decline. All rubber, not sewn. NU, rubber, not sewn. The camo thing is kind of interesting. They don't even give you a number on the sleeve, right? This is just ironed on. There is no Nebraska Husker patch, which true fans know that we need to have. So this is a total, complete, absolute, abject, complete failure as a jersey type. Okay? Total and complete disappointment. And that's what they're selling now for $130. They're selling this, not necessarily camo, but red, white, ironed on numbers, not sewn on. No. And they're calling these authentic jerseys. Now, some people say you need to say game ready, game worn jersey, and then people will know what's going on. So I showed you this. I don't know how old this shirt is. I would say maybe I don't know what I would say. Maybe 80s for this, which was nice. It smells like mothballs. Now, this is the prime example of an authenticated, game-worn Nebraska jersey from 1991. Sent to me by the same friend who sent me this. And this also smells like mothballs. This is my pride and my joy. 85 Gordon, not 88. 46 is the size. You can see it's see-through mesh, which I'm really loving. This is what sells the whole thing. This is the Nebraska patch. This patch was used between the years of 1991 and 1998. It's not available anymore. You can't see it. And you can't even see that it's sewn in because this is a double panel. So it's like there are two. There's an inside layer and outside layer. It's very soft and luxurious, if I do dare say. And the number is screen printed on, right? It's not sewn on, but when they, in the 91, that's what they did. The numbers were screen printed. They were not sewn on. Numbers on the side, they're screen printed on, but that's okay because this is authentic. Screen printed on, right? And the back, well, it's not real because they don't have the name of the player on the back. Well, there was a long time where Nebraska did not believe in putting player names on the back because they didn't want that. Tom Osborne. You just went and you played football. And when you scored a touchdown, you didn't do a dance, you didn't spike the ball. You did one of two things. You crossed the goal line and you took the football, placed it on the ground, and you walked away. Or you crossed the goal line, you had the football in your hand, you found the referee, you handed the ball to the referee, and you walked away. Now, can we get back to that? Or we're going to have dancing and throwing the ball into the stand and spiking the ball. I guess I'm just getting old now because I prefer that to what we see. But this is the divine being. And you just hold it in your hands. You can see the quality is different. The material has a very nice sheen to it, the nice shine. And you can tell by the tag that this is an official jersey. So that is my jersey review, not the New Jersey review, but the Nebraska Cornhusker Athletic Jersey review. And when we return, we're going to talk about something that's sort of related and maybe not related. I guess you're going to have to stick around and find out. We will return in a moment. And we are back from break. I'm David Bowles. This is Bowles.tv, BOLES.television. Well, I got back and I thought, hey, I guess I should see if I can fix this. So if I type !YO, enter. Hey, yo, Bowles TV, yo. Read your comments. We aren't here to just sit idly by and be entertained. We are here to entertain you too. Snap out of it, yo. So we now have a yo command. We have a hey command. Hey. And now we have a yo command. Use it at your own discretion. That's the fun of MooBot. Go in there, create a command, put it up. We probably should have a million commands by now. Pay attention. Fix your hair. Look right. It's too dark. It's too light. We can't see you. Now, here are the tags that were actually included on this jersey, telling me from my friend that this was authentic and new stock, which I guess is important because a lot of people sell these jerseys and they're used and they're old. So this was the price way back whenever that was, $45. This today, selling today, if they were making this quality, would be at least $130 from Adidas. And this tag was also included and approved, and there are people out there in the world who can look at this and say exactly what year this was being sold. I'm not one of those people. But I will accept anything from the Adidas world that has to do with the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Now, we had an interesting conversation about jerseys and color, quality. Now I'm going to have an interesting conversation, I think, briefly, discussing fashion and the color green. Now, I'm not saying I have anything to do with this. I'm not saying that Jana Marie Sweetheart is involved in this whatsoever. I'm not saying that. So let's talk about the color green for a moment. There are people in the world who think that salmon, the color salmon, is pink. And those people are usually ostracized by society. There are also some people who maybe don't discern differences in the color green or in the texture of green. Now, I'm going to show you a shoe. I'm not saying this is a new shoe that was delivered yesterday. Right? Cute shoe, green in color, right? Has a little bit of texture to it. Okay, we like the texture. Nice looking shoe, yes. Okay. Now, let's say somebody wanted to have this shoe. I'm not saying who. They wanted to have this shoe because they don't have a shoe of this color. And when someone, I'm not saying it was me, and when someone, very beautiful, very intelligent, usually has hair that behaves, said, hey, you do have a shoe that's that color. Why don't you go for the darker version of this shoe that you don't have in that color? And this other person, who we don't know who it is, very brusquely, I would use the term brusquely, said, I don't have a shoe that's color. That's a color. So there was an understanding, someone thought, that it would make sense to get a shoe that's in a darker color than you already have. And then the shoe arrived. Cute shoe, right? But the same color. Prosecution evidence 1A. I argue today in this court. Oh! The Jana Marie says, this is a one-sided story. If you happen to know someone who has another point of view, you are free to share it in the comments section. But the prosecution has not started the argument yet. So we have this shoe that is exactly the same color as the shoe I just showed you. Wonderful texture. Even the sole has a little bit of green in it. There was an accusation made against this shoe that it is a lace-up shoe. And the prosecution is here to argue today that if you look at the shoe, it's not a lace-up shoe. The laces are there only for show. This is a slip-on shoe. Uh-oh. Someone says, I like slip inside. Easy to wear and comfortable. Someone also says, no, it's not the same color. Oh. And now we have an ad break. Okay? So. Someone says they do not want to show the shoe ties. So. We have similar functionality, similar fashion wear. Put them together and compare colors, someone from the chat says. That's the next part of the prosecution. And then we're going to rest our case and take it to the jury. Commissioner Gordon from Florida weighs in. There are apps that can tell you with almost 100% precision the hex number of a color point and shoot exactly. I don't need those apps because I have perfect color perception. And it's been proven many times. This and this are the same color shoe. Now this white sole might confuse you a little bit because this is a greenish color sole. But if you just look at the colors of the shoe, they are, for all intents and purposes, the same color shoe. The texture, they both have very nice texture. But wouldn't it have been wonderful to have a new pair of shoes, in a darker color rather than repeating the same color, where someone would complain about this shoe for months and months and months, that there is nothing to wear with this shoe that looks good. And yet the exact same color is purchased months and months later under protest. Someone else says, hey, they are no. And look at the texture of this slip-on. Cool shoes. It looks a little like a straw mat, but it would be so much more beautiful and more effective if it were just a little bit darker. Now, I have thought, how can I make this darker? I do have Sharpies here, black Sharpies, that if I strategically colored all around here, that we'd have a darker version. So the prosecution argues that there was a perfectly good shoe. There was a beautiful color. There was probably a gift. Don't you dare. We're not saying we're not naming any of the people in this conversation, by the way. So there's no danger that can be attributed to me and anyone's particular shoe that I'm holding in my hand. A perfectly good, beautiful colored shoe was rejected and has not been worn for months on end, being replaced by an identical shoe that does not have decorative laces. This shoe is a slip-on, and so is this shoe. The prosecution rests. I win. And there's nobody who can tell me I didn't win. Now, we do have this feeling now because of this conversation that we just had that was in general and not directed at any particular person, that there is going to be not a request, but a demand now for a darker green color shoe, which was my preference from the beginning. What was probably someone's preference from the beginning. And when that person asked the other person, why did you ask, should I go for a dark green or a light green? And the clear answer is the dark green, and the light green is purchased. Why did that happen? Well, this person probably said, I was just asking for your opinion, and you gave it to me, and it was the wrong opinion. So now there's a big shoe controversy going on. Someone from the audience says, that's correct. We'll get more shoes, slip-ons. Yeah, that's going to be the payment now for having this conversation on the live stream. And I'm not terribly concerned about getting the second pair of shoes because those are the shoes that should have been purchased in the first place. Because now that I have pointed out that this hated shoe is now the same color as this new shoe will be as hated as this color shoe. Because that's how things work. So psychologically, theologically, and lawfulogically, I believe I have made the best case today. And I do thank you for your support. I did not go to law school, but I do practice presenting prosecutorial cases Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, here on Bowles.tv. And now it's time to take another blood pressure break. Returning in a moment. And we are back from break. This is Bowls.tv, BOLES.tv. Coming to you live and in concert Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern. Oh, we've had a fun show today. Talking about football jerseys and delightful shoes and all kinds of silly, wonderful things. Now we take a turn to some of the interesting things going on in the news. First up, oh boy, this is a disappointment. Hey, have you heard about Trader Joe? We talked about the wine shop closing the other day. Well, here's the real story behind it. Trader Joe suddenly closed its bustling, very, very, very popular wine store in the heart of New York City, Union Square. There's the Trader Joe here, and right next to it, the wine store. Employees say they were unionizing, and that is why the store was closed. What? On August 11, Trader Joe abruptly closed its only wine store in New York City. Workers there told the Huffington Post they were unionizing and about to go public with their efforts. Now workers and their union are calling for Trader Joe's to reopen the store. It was the closure heard around New York City tickensy-tockensy. Well, now I have to click on this and find out what it is. Oh, there might be sound. Oh, I don't want to do this. Or maybe there wasn't any sound. Maybe I can do it. Is there sound? No, there's no sound. Only Trader Joe wine shop in New York. It's true. How could they do it? It doesn't make any sense. The only Trader Joe wine shop in New York City, in the entire state of New York. It didn't make any sense because I know a lot of people who went there all the time and got very cheap, delicious wine. Workers at the store had been organizing over the last few months with the United Food and Commercial Workers International Union and were gearing up to publicly announce their effort the week of August 15. Wow! So on August 11, they closed the store. Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's so painful. Today, the union and Trader Joe's employees are calling out the company's abrupt closure of the Union Square wine shop as egregious and blatant union busting. The store's organizing committee said in a joint statement, workers at the store are calling on Trader Joe's to reopen the location and protect their jobs, wages, and schedules. Trader Joe's openly brags about being a good employer, but there's nothing inclusive and respectful about abruptly shutting its tremendously popular wine store just days before workers were set to go public with their union organizing efforts. It's a cruel form of union busting. The AFL-CIO stands in solidarity with the union and the dozens of workers who are now out of a job because they had the courage to come together and stand up for better working conditions. Whew. Our decision to close the Union Square wine shop resulted from a long-term review of how best to optimize our one and only license to sell wine in New York State, and to best meet the needs of our grocery customers in the neighborhood, Trader Joe said. After 15 years of operating an underperforming wine shop, I don't believe that for a minute, no, neither does anybody else, and planning for a busy holiday grocery season, we decided the best way forward is to support our Union Square grocery operations using the space previously occupied by the wine shop. And the wine shop was very tiny, very small, very packed with people at all times. Trader Joe said they are actively looking for another wine shop location in New York City. Well, we'll see if that happens or not, right? Trader Joe workers are not the only unionizing retail workers to see store closures. Recently, Starbucks announced that it was closing a slew of locations over safety concerns, although union organizers at the company said that was an excuse to shut down locations that had voted to unionize. By abruptly closing this store, it's clear that Trader Joe's is engaging in an illegal union-busting technique that has been utilized by other national corporations facing organizing campaigns of their own, like Starbucks and Amazon. That makes sense. It didn't make sense that they put up the store is closed sign and didn't tell any of their workers. And the workers showed up to work, the store was locked, and they read that they were all losing their job at the wine store. Terrible. Now here's some really interesting news. If I can go, there we go. From our good friend Kevin Drum, Al Pundit, used to write for Mother Jones, has been sick for a long time with multiple myeloma, has been fighting it. And this is the really, really interesting news. And anybody who doesn't believe in science and technology making your health better only need to read this article by Kevin. This morning, I got a call from the transplant folks, and I now have a date for my CART treatment. I'll do a bunch of testing over the next 2 weeks, followed by a plasma collection in early September. The plasma will then be shipped off to the CART factory, where it will be turned into personalized cancer-killing T cells. This is a test, I guess a health beta test, and he's been trying for months to get in on this test to try to cure his cancer. The treatment itself will take place in early October, and after that it's just a matter of waiting and hoping that my response is strong and the side effects are mild. Assuming everything goes well, total recovery time will likely be a few months, and I will be cancer-free, sort of, by 2023. The treatment is still pretty new, so there's no telling how well I'll respond or how long it will last. If I'm average, it will last at least a couple of years, during which I'll need no chemotherapy at all. And Kevin is very blunt about his blood, his tests. He posts them all, he graphs them for us. And what he calls the evil dex, which I guess he has to take every couple of weeks, and he gets the infusion, and then he is up for 3 days. Cannot sleep for 3 days. So he's wandering the streets of California, taking photographs, writing, and then he comes down from it and sleeps for a day and a half and cannot be awakened. It sounds like a very rough existence. Those of you curious to know more, the treatment is called Carvykti, and you can read more about it by just Googling it. It was originally developed in China and marketed in the U.S. by Johnson & Johnson. It was approved by the FDA in February. And here's the official website. It's an infusion of your own. It's a treatment for adult patients who have cancer of the bone marrow called multiple myeloma. It is used when at least 4 other kinds of treatment have not worked or have stopped working. So Kevin's in a tough situation. It's a medicine made from your own white blood cells, which have been changed, genetically modified to recognize and attack your multiple myeloma cells. Whew. So score 1 for the big Kev. I'm so happy to know that he's doing better. Well, this is also an interesting story. About the toxicity of Reddit comments. Now, we've had conversations here before about Reddit. Gordon tried to get help in a font subreddit, and he was told that it's not a font that he's looking for. Just ridiculousness. And as I said then, as I say now, the wisdom of going on Reddit is to assume that everyone you're speaking to is an 11-year-old boy. That's the maturity level of many of the comments that you'll get. And once you realize that and accept that as a possibility, then everything becomes calmer and clearer because you realize the quality of the response you're getting, and it also tempers your response to want to reach out and do something physical harmful to someone that you don't even know on the internet. New research published in the Open Access Journal, analyzing over 87 million posts and 2.2 billion comments on Reddit from more than 1.2 million unique users, examines changes in the online behavior of users who publish in multiple communities on Reddit by measuring toxicity. I wish I'd do this on Facebook because there's nothing more deadly and more awful than some of these Facebook comments and these groups. One of my favorite Reddit groups is S Moms Say on Facebook. And the S is not S, it's the S word. And it's insanity. User behavior toxicity analysis showed that 16% of users on Reddit publish toxic posts, and that 13% of users publish toxic comments. Hey, what it says, well, 30% of users publishing posts and 81% of users publishing comments exhibit changes in their toxicity levels across different communities. And that's interesting. Some people are nasty in one subreddit, and then they're very friendly and helpful in another. You need predictability in behavior if you want to make a difference. The study suggests that one way to limit the spread of toxicity is by limiting the communities in which users can participate. Now, that's not going to go over well. Well, you can't be in 300 communities, you can only be in 25. That's my freedom of speech. The growth of social media platforms has unfortunately led to an explosion of malicious content, such as harassment, profanity, and cyberbullying. Various reasons may motivate users of social media platforms to spread harmful content. It has been shown that publishing toxic content spreads the malicious behavior of non-malicious users, and it can influence non-malicious users and make them misbehave, negatively impacting online communities. That's why sometimes it's better just to read, to lurk, and not get involved. One challenge with studying online toxicity is the multitude of forms it takes. Oh, I just read that. Did I just read that? Oh, I think they republished that. So, monitoring the change in users' toxicity can be an early detection method for toxicity in online comments. The proposed methodology can identify when users exhibit a change by calculating the toxicity percentage in posts and comments. This change, combined with the toxicity level of our system detected in users' posts, can be used efficiently to stop that kind of dissemination. And then this goes on to talk about the model. Toxicity levels of 87 million posts from 577,000 users over 16 years, from 2005 to 2020. This study utilized the toxicity levels of user content to identify toxicity changes by the user within the same community, across multiple communities, and over time. So look out. Reddit can be a wonderful, wonderful place. But Reddit can also be a place that's going to come after you and do really terrible things to you if you're not paying attention. Now, I saw this morning. I thought it was really interesting. This is from Fortune Italia. It's the name of a magazine, right? So this is originally published in Italian that has been translated. So as we share this article, you're going to see some of the comments and words and translations seem just a little bit slightly off. But the idea that they're asking this scientist is, does the university still serve a purpose? Or is the university, as an idea of education and learning and getting a better job, outdated and no longer important? Is it still worth going to a university? Fortune Italia asked, in view of the new academic year, an Italian scientist in the USA, Antonio Giordano, founder and director of the Sabaro Institute. I don't think it's that kind of Sabaro. For cancer research and molecular medicine of the Temple University of Philadelphia. Maybe it is that Sabaro. I don't know. Over the years, cultural and therefore also university training has been, according to this scientist, has been tragically replaced by the concept of competence, erroneously considered more usable and usable on the job market. In reality, this step has increased the gap between university preparation and employment. Since the reduction of teaching to a skill factory rather than a workshop of ideas has meant competence by itself, static self, once acquired in the university years, was already obsolete. Compared to the continuous updating and the impact of globalization, which makes everything more competitive. Now, that's a very interesting quote. And this goes back to what I've said, is that business schools now run the majority of universities in the United States. The business school sets the agenda because they have the most donors, they have the most students, because students don't want to be poor philosophers or poor poetry writers. They want to go out, use their university education to make a lot of money. And when you have that change from sharing ideas into what a business school is, a factory of cookie cutteredness and stamping out people to send them to go to Wall Street and work, it changes the entire tone and timbre of university experience. This is why the university is not really obsolete after all. The job market is updated faster than an operating system, and only useless knowledge can save us from a bad interpretation of the future. Not functional to simple actions, but capable of inspiring great ones. Absolute knowledge, knowledge acquired at school, it renews itself. It does its job, which is to help develop the human being. Provide them with some tools to progress, break down obstacles, and support their creativity. Beautifully said. And this is not coming from an American scientist. It's coming from an Italian scientist who happens to be working in the USA. And that's what I've said. I've said, look, if you're a theater major and that's how you understand and comprehend the world, you can go get training in the theater and take those skills that you understand and adapt them and mold them into a career beyond the university that you may not even understand yet. But some parents, some vocational programs don't want that. They don't want free thinking, ideas, the application of theory. They want you to get job, 9-5 job, go now. They don't care about the mind or the spirit or the morality of the body. For Giordano, there are no doubts, but he says even the university needs to rethink its strategy. He says it can be said that absolute knowledge wins over specialized competence due to its multifaceted and constantly evolving character, compared to the static nature of competence acquired over years without having trained critical thinking. And the possibility of modifying it, improving it, to adapt it to the new that advances. Therefore, moving from a factory of skills to a workshop of ideas is the ultimate solution that the school, and therefore the university, has to interpret reality and dominate it. Slightly convoluted, I think, because of the translation from Italian to English, but you get the idea. The university has to change, not to become more business school-like, but more a philosophical and theoretical, because theory training always wins over fact training. Facts change, the truth does not. The vulnus that has been created, I love that word, VULNUS, the wound, the open sore, the vulnus that has been created between the university world and the world of work lies precisely in the misunderstanding that a specialized competence can replace the birth of a critical conscience at the basis of the individual's freedom. Anyone who claims that attending a university is useless, anyone who feels they have to divert young people away from any form of education, pushing them to find a place elsewhere, wants to make them manipulable individuals, Giordano warns. The scientist remains convinced that schools and education in general are the only possibility we have of building a future, responding to the only market demand needed, new ideas. New ideas that are born only with knowledge, not technique. The technique comes years later. You have to train young people to think, then do it. To do this, attending school, university is essential. Anyone who says otherwise wants to make them into servants. It's beautifully said, beautifully argued. I wish we were hearing a lot more of that from American universities and from the people running them. And now, my friend, it's time for our final blood pressure break of the day, returning in just a moment. And we are back from break. David Bowles, this is Bowles.tv, BOLES, not television, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern. And hey, the beautiful shoe-wearing Jana Marie will be here with you live tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern as she shows off her new shoes. Now, I was very lucky today that, not Jana Marie, the unknown person, didn't wear the new shoe today. Because if you don't have anything that goes with this shoe, you don't have anything that goes with this shoe. Not that Jana Marie has anything to do with it. She's completely innocent of all charges. Guilty as charged. I'm guilty as charged. So, hey, during the break, Gordon said, before you turn to your next topic, I want to share something a friend posted. I hope it wasn't on Reddit, because it's a very toxic place unless you don't know Gordon. What is the practical difference between the rapist and the people forcing the rape victim to give birth to that child? Oh, it's Jana Marie talking. It's summer. I'm wearing sandals today. Now, the beautiful pants that someone who remains unknown was wearing today look beautiful with this pair of slip-on shoes. But the idea was rejected in favor of sandals. Excuse me. I'm laughing and I'm crying. Because I know when someone gets home, I'm going to be in big trouble. And I have a feeling that this shoe might be thrown at me eventually. Just kidding. So I'm not sure if Gordon is telling a dad joke or what. What is the practical difference between a rapist and the people forcing the raped child to give birth to that child? Religion. I don't know if he's being serious or not. Jana says, I'm throwing them at you now. I know you are. Thank you, baby. I accept all shoes being thrown at me. I do love a shoe. Although a darker color green would look really good with the pants you're wearing right now. Theoretically speaking, not talking about you specifically. Gordon says, not a dad joke. Serious question for consideration. Well, the thing that bothers me even more than that question is the parental rights that in many states a rapist has over the birth of a child born of rape. So the convicted rapist is in prison and then sues for visitation to visit the result of his rape. But I think the answer to Gordon's original question, what is the difference between the rapist and the people forcing the rape victim to give birth to a child? It really is religion. It's that easy. And awful. And these people try to walk their way around it. Oh, incest, rape, we can't, the baby's the innocent party. So we can't do anything about the fetus except protect it. It's very bizarre, and I don't understand it. But it does seem to be completely based not in science or health, but in the fantasy of this religion that all life is sacred and that a fetus is a baby. And it's really horrible that these now young women are being forced to carry these, not just pregnancies to term, but these dead fetuses. They have to carry them around. Dead in the brain, but there's still a heartbeat. So I don't know when the heartbeat became the sign of life, because technically and theologically, throughout the history of humankind, the mark of life has been breath. Not thinking, not heartbeat, breath. The first breath of life, the last breath in death. If you cannot breathe on your own, then you're in trouble. And a fetus cannot breathe on its own without the help of the mother. It's not self-sustained life yet. But then there are religious people who say the second conception happens right there. That's when life begins. And where that comes from, I don't know. I don't think it's been theologically or scientifically proven. I think this is just a way that they have to control the bodies of women and to keep them down by enslaving them, forced labor. So we've been talking to our friend Alexander on our Discord server, and it's very interesting. Conversations with Alexander are interesting. Sometimes he goes to his Facebook group and posts pictures there and video. Sometimes he posts some things on Twitter. Sometimes he goes into our Discord and posts things in our new Ukraine section. Sometimes he posts things privately to me that I share. And sometimes he posts videos to his private Vimeo folder that I set up for him. So it's always interesting to figure out what he's sharing, if any of it is unique to us. And some of it is, and some of it is not. Oh, Gordon also said, so, we need this command, Gordon. Because I was looking at something else. So, Gordon says, they say that moments after this heartbeat occurs, the future mother can get in the carpool lane. Sure. That's how you have to extrapolate it. And then they call you ridiculous. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Because none of it makes any sense. And yet they want us to believe that this is what's happening. I'm waiting, as we talked before, for the Jews to save us on this. And they need to get going because it's starting to get really stupid. And I can't believe that there aren't any Jewish families in Florida with a pregnancy over 15 weeks where somewhere the fetus is in danger. And Ron DeSantis says, no, you cannot have an abortion. I would like to see that challenged in court. I would like Jewish law to go up against state law and see who wins. Because we know who's going to win. It's not Ron DeSantis. Oh my gosh, I saw him on TV today. Oh boy. Florida is the anti-woke state. I take on Disney. I punish people. I'm going on and on about all his accomplishments. And there are people who seem to know, said, oh, let Ron DeSantis be the GOP pick. Donald Trump Jr. light version. Because the second the guy opens his mouth, he's the most reprehensible, disgusting human being you've ever met. Put him on a national stage and make him say all those awful things that he says to his Florida people. And he was getting applauded, surrounded by law enforcement, applauded. Standing ovation for Ron DeSantis in this non-woke state. Ugh. Our friend Alexander has posted this yesterday. See if I can find it. In our public Discord server area dedicated to Ukraine. Okay, I said it all. Now, this is what I posted privately to him and also publicly in our Ukraine thing, because what do I know? This Russian from Radio Free Europe. Shocking, terrifying, hopeless, searing new film, a current film, how many Russian families have been ripped apart by Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. Alexander hated it, said not true, all lies, don't support it. Okay. This one I posted, that appears to be in Russian, he seemed to think this one was okay. This, again from Radio Free Europe, fit for fighting combat training for civilians, now part of Ukraine, with these civilians holding machine guns. Before the Russian invasion, the EBSH Sport Club was like any other gleaming gym in a well-heeled neighborhood. This, Alexander approved. He thought it was terrific and fantastic. Oh, here's the pictures of the people. What I see and what you see is a little bit different. Let me see if I can fix that. Fixing? Yes, now I'm fixing. Okay, now what I see is what you see. Okay, perfect. Yesterday, he sent me this video. Now, it's very short. I'm not exactly sure why he sent this, but it had meaning to him. Have a beautiful day, good mood, peaceful skies, carrying the car, to the soldiers from the city of Lviv. I share the views of Ukraine. Okay, so he's driving that car we saw the other day that they're painting green. This, I guess, is inside the car, on the way to delivering the new car. So that's what we're experiencing. I have to stop that. Okay, so when I talk and the captions are covering the video, I get in trouble because I'm not doing the right thing. So I have to behave and give a chance for the captions to clear. And this is another photograph that he sent us. I don't know what we're looking at, though. I don't think this is the victory over World War II over Hitler. But it's obviously important to Alexander, and I love it. I just wish I knew what it was. I don't believe he said. And here is another video on the way to, I guess, delivering the new car to the front lines. So I wait for the closed captions to clear, and then I would do the play. So it must be fun to have a brand new car and you get to, drive it up to the front lines. And then I thanked him, and then this is like, wow. This is the video of the day. See if I can get it centered here just a little bit better. Oh, it's so touchy. There. Okay. This is the front lines. From the front lines of Ukraine. Very surprising, very scary. I'll show it to you now. Now that's pretty close to the front lines, I'd say. And as you can see, it's agrarian, it's fields, at the Ukrainian tank going to the front lines, going through someone's field. It's shocking what they have to go through. And what they're having to put up with this madman named Mr. Putin. They're very happy about having this car. Another celebration of the car with the Cossack flag, red, black, blue, yellow. Jenna Marie says, oh, it's so real. It really is real. And the visual of all the dirt being flung up by the tank. Oof, amazing stuff. I should download that and put it out on Vimeo. It's really alarming. I'll do that today. And here they are again, delivering the car. They sign the flag, the Cossack flag, where red blood becomes black death. Very interesting history. I had no idea. I want a red and black flag. Today, the car, will go to the unit. Although the result of a debt of 300 euros, but emotions overwhelmed. I understand that many are tired of the news about the war, but this is my life, my family, my father and mother. I can go abroad. My 3 minor children give me the right to do so, but I will not be able to do it when others are dying for our freedom. Peace to you, and once again, I wish you to learn to enjoy the little things. Then you'll really be happy. Thank you, and to those who understand, you cannot negotiate with the terrorist, Putin. He perceives it as a weakness. Good night, everyone. Woo-hoo-hoo. Can you believe that? Negotiation is a weakness. And then he wishes us peaceful skies. So, hey, what a show today. What a week we've had. Wonderful time. I thank you so much for being here. Talked about a lot of interesting topics. If you have any questions or comments, you can email me, david@bowles.tv. If you want to find me on Twitter, @DavidBowles, super follows to follow. Alexander is a super follower. We have wonderful conversations in the super follower area. On Facebook, our business page is BOLES. On Instagram, we are Bowles Books. On the TikTok, we are Bowles TV. Gordon says, hey, thanks. Signing off from Winter Garden, Florida. Thanks for having us. And our reply is, oh, I almost typed dad. Day, I think it's day. We will see you in a day or two, and I'll have more ideas for you. I don't think we told a dad joke today. I'm sorry. Hi, sorry, I'm dad. I do get it, though. I asked for it, so. If you want to join our Discord server and say hello to Alexander and ask him questions about the war or ask for photographs or get more information, here is where to go. Discord.gg/BOLES. You can join our conversation there, have some fun, join our live stream. It's all there for you, waiting for you. So I hope you have a wonderful day, great nap, wonderful revelation, and when ye shall awaken, may your soul be filled with joy, anticipation, and a longing for the days to come. I'll see you on Monday.